Everyone. Thank you for being here in person or online for this meeting of the Sonoma County Junior College District Board of Trustees. We'll start as we always do with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we gather at Santa Rosa Junior College on the territorial traditional land of the Pomo people in Santa Rosa and the Coast Miwok people in Petaluma, past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it throughout the generations. As a reminder, public comment will be allowed at the appropriate times. If you would like to provide an in-person public comment, please grab one of the yellow comment cards in the back of the room and bring them up to the front desk here to Zara. For those online, please wait to raise your hand until invited to do so, and you will be called upon at the appropriate time. That brings us to item B1, announcement of reportable actions from closed session. There are none. Item B2, approval of the open session agenda. Do I have a motion and a second for approval?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comment or public comments on that? Seeing none, we'll go to our student trustee for the advisory vote first. Student trustee Clark.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? The agenda is approved. That brings us to item B3, approval of our special meeting minutes. I believe we have a revision for that. I'll turn it over to trustee Bricker for the motion.
Thank you. I move to amend the minutes. The minutes should note that written public comments were received from Michael Vonderporten regarding facilities on item B5, public comments, and survey results on item B6, bond feasibility results.
Thank you. Do I have a second on a motion to approve the amended minutes?
Second.
All right. Any public comment or board members wishing to comment on this? Seeing none, student trustee Clark.
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? The minutes are approved. Next, that brings us to item B4, our employee of the month for November 2025, Kyle McCarris from Theater Arts, with Carrie Lowen to present.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Board President Chabon, Board Trustees, President Garcia, Media Services, and campus community. My name is Carrie Lowen. I'm honored to be here with Theater Department Chair Justin Smith to present the November 2025 Employee of the Month Award to Theater Arts Production Specialist Kyle McCarris. We set very high expectations for Kyle when he was hired. Kyle is responsible for not only running the sizable scene shop located behind the stage in Burbank Auditorium, but also the state-of-the-art lighting and audio technology above the theater, which I'd be happy to give any of you a tour if you'd like one. He oversees and trains the student workers who build sets and props. He works closely with all department faculty and staff with our amazing media services team. That's mostly for non-theater events. Kyle is always efficient and professional and a joy to work with. To experience what he does, I encourage everyone to attend the Theater Arts musical, Ride the Cyclone, that opens this Friday. You'll be able to witness the amazing sets and props that are created by our students and faculty working directly with Kyle. Justin?
Kind of took the wind out of my sails. All my bullet points. I just want to say thank you to Kyle. A deep sense of gratitude, because without him, the department would not function. I met him for the first time in 2011 when we both came together to be at SRT, and we've been friends ever since. And when I moved here in 2020, we had an opportunity for him to help us out when we needed someone as an STNC, and then we got him here. And we're just really, really grateful for his commitment to the students, his excellence in work, and he's just steady in a department full of a lot of personality and a lot of character. He is steady and he's someone we can rely on, and he is always putting students first. So thank you so much, Kyle. You deserve this award.
Kyle, I now get to present you with this large packet, which includes. I wondered why it was always awkward when people pull this out, because it's a lot of stuff. This plaque. Oh. Let's see, what else do we have in here? We have, tickets to any theater arts production that you may choose.
My favorite.
A gift certificate for the Culinary Cafe. Ooh. And thanks to some people at Media Services and also the Theater Arts Department, a gift certificate for $400 to Home Depot.
Thank you very much. I just want to express my immense gratitude for being able to work at this institution. It's a joy to work with very close friends and potential friends. I didn't really prepare anything for this because, as Carrie mentioned, we're opening Ride the Cyclone this Friday.
7:30 p.m. Tickets still available.
Another shameless plug. Come see it. Students get discounts. Come see our show. It's a very good show. It's a lot of fun. And
we got to go do second dress tonight.
Yep. So on that note, thank you very much. I appreciate it and have a great day.
Well, congratulations on the very well-deserved recognition, and I already have my tickets, so looking forward to seeing the show. And yeah, no need to stick through the whole board meeting if you need to get back to work getting the show going, but thank you for being here. Next up, we have item B5, public hearing on the Santa Rosa Junior College district and CFT local 1946 joint reopeners for 25-26 negotiations. Are there any public comments here in the room or online on this item, or any board members wishing to speak on this item? All right, seeing none, we will move on. That takes us to our public comments, item B6. As a reminder, each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board, and 20 minutes shall be the maximum time allotment for speakers on any one subject. Please state your name and any affiliation before making your comments. I'll start with comment cards I have received for people here in person, and then we will move to any comments online. First up is Mike Vonderpoorten.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon. Mike Vonderpoorten here as a citizen. Yesterday was Veterans Day, a day to honor those who served to fight for our rights, for our Constitution, for our open government. They served to support the Constitution and ultimately the California Constitution and the laws of the state. Those are the same constitutions that you swore to when you joined the board. So what happened on October 14? First of all, you held the 3 o'clock session at the board meeting. I was there. I presented at the meeting. I gave you copies of the 21-22 financial plan, the last one that the district says it prepared. Then you went into closed session, and it appears that the 5 of you confirmed behind closed doors. And then you came out as a group and announced that the 4 p.m. meeting session had been canceled. Well, that's been now attributed to a posting issue. So can we infer that since you held the 3 o'clock session and then you didn't hold the 4 o'clock session, that between that time you discussed whether or not to hold that 4 o'clock session, that you discussed that during the closed 3 p.m. session? Any discussion about proper posting or whether the meeting should be held must itself be held in open session. This is not a closed session item. It was not included on the closed session agenda. As soon as it was just determined that the meeting was not legal, the meeting should have been gavelled to adjournment, and the 5 of you should have stood up to walk out of the room. As soon as 2 of you had left the room, the other 3 could have stayed behind. Now, what do you tell the public? You go to your open meeting schedule online or posted, or you go to Board Docs Plus, you find that the 3 p.m. session says canceled in all caps. And you find that the 4 p.m. session was listed as canceled in all caps. You create the fiction, the lie, that there was no 3 o'clock meeting. But there was a meeting. 5 of you were there. I was there. Dr. Garcia was there. But the board says nothing to be seen. And there are no minutes presented for that meeting. It's all magically disappeared. The Brown Act was created specifically to stop such secret, closed door, no minutes gatherings of majority of the public board. Go read the original investigative reporting that led to the Brown Act. The board's actions are exactly what the Brown Act was designed to prevent. Sure, you can tell us that you didn't make any decisions or you didn't hold any substantive discussions, but that's not how it works. Under the Brown Act, we, the public, get to hear those discussions and determine for ourselves what happened. As one observer noted, each violation of the Brown Act is an act of public corruption. Chair Chaban, you're an attorney. Don't you have obligations to support California and the state constitution? All of you do have the obligation to follow the state constitution. Please.
That is your 3 minutes. Thank you.
Stop the violations of the
Next
Brown
up,
Act.
Julian Naranjo Hernandez.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to start off by saying that I would not be dancing at the JC if it wasn't for Tanya Kinnipelmeyer or Kristen Daly. The only reason I left was because it was under the instruction of Cassandra Hillman. My whole experience there was a terrible time. I was manipulated to get whatever she wanted from students because I was someone who she looked up to. And unfortunately, I was thrown everything at me because she wanted to use me in order to get anything out of anyone. If I'm aware, there's other things like HIPAA laws that correlate in other situations. So I think there should be that the same thing should apply when in dance about her leaking information about students to other students, because that shouldn't be allowed. When I did that at my job, I lost my job. So I assume that someone should be held to that same expectation of losing their job. Also with plagiarism, if I wrote an essay in my English class, immediately expelled. Why? Because I plagiarized. It is not acceptable for a teacher to come and do the same exact thing. If I see an Instagram post of someone else's choreography and then I went into class and she taught the same choreography, I wouldn't feel like I learned from her. I feel like I would learn from the person that I saw the Instagram video from that was plagiarized completely and made it seem like it was all her work and she acted upon that. The first time I performed under Angelica Garcia, I felt like something was going to happen. Something about this was finally going to happen. And I was finally going to get that representación Latina here. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. I had to leave because I couldn't take it anymore. Cassandra absolutely manipulated my life, and not just our lives, but all of the students here. I had to leave the JC and not be able to complete my courses or even graduate because of what was happening in the dance department. I decided to come back to give it another try because of the education that Kristen Daly and Tanya Kinnipelmeyer are providing us. It is actually the caliber that is expected in the dance education, and it should be, because when I left, I experienced other dance educations that didn't discriminate people and accepted everyone for their talents, no matter if they were beginner level or advanced level. Tanya and Kristen have been doing that recently, and everyone has been literally getting up to the same caliber. I consider everyone dancing at the same caliber now because we have all been given the same opportunity, instead of beginner dancers not being able to dance because they want to give the opportunity to the better dancers. That's not how a beginner dancer improves. You have to give someone the opportunity to improve. You can't just
That
crush
is
their
your
dreams.
3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, I have Kikia Jackson. Hopefully that's.
Hi. I'm new to the Santa Rosa JC, but I'm here to stand with all my fellow students. Coming into this, like I've always known a environment of dance where everyone is welcome. And coming into that, like from the start of the year with Cassandra Hillman, the energy was not there. Her leaving literally created this space of safety with Christian Daly and Tanya. All these people felt safe. We felt like a actual union. We were not being separated. We were not being divided. We were together. With Cassandra Hillman in that place, that was not the same. And frankly, as me as a dancer, and I feel like it's the same for every single dancer here, they want to feel safe. They want to feel comfortable. I got into dancing to express my own self. And I took her choreography class. She didn't teach us to express ourselves. She taught us to express her. She taught us to dance like her. With Christian, we're dancing for ourselves. I'm actually doing something. I'm creating something. I'm building something of my own. I'm not building something on her own, on Cassandra's basis. Or like, no one wants to dance in the way of someone else's form. We all have our own form. We all have our own fluidity. We all come from different environments. And with her in place, she was almost trying to erase that. And no one felt like they could be able to either do more or be themselves. And without her, we're all together. All of us are here and we are on our own paces and we are like standing strong. Even before this like meeting today, everyone outside, we were standing in unity. We need unity. Within this world, unity is something that is going to bring us to a better future. And in dance as well, we need that. With the environment that with Cassandra was not building that community. With Kristen and Tanya, we all have that. And it's creating a space that feels comfortable and is something that is needed within dance because so many people, dance is it's their place, it's their safe space. And with Cassandra Hillman, it was not that space at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Justin Takao. Justin Takao, if that's okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Justin, and I'm pretty new to SRJC, but I have been a part of the performing arts since middle school, and I've seen how leadership could really dictate the tone and environment students grow in. I've taken Cassandra's choreography class, and I can testify and say that the direction she's taken is a complete 180 compared to Kristen's. As an artist and as a dancer, and even as a person, I feel like Kristen has really cultivated an environment that is safe and inclusive and respectful. She's really helped a lot of people, even the quietest members, really find their personal voice. And to disrupt that and not bring her back, it would kind of be a disruption to students' learning experience. And I think it's important to continue that momentum Kristen has created. Also, Tanya and Tamara have also really encouraged students to, move authentically. And yeah, I think it's important for the dance community to continue the tone that's been set by these wonderful instructors. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Genevieve Machiluk.
this time around, I did not prepare a speech because I wanted to talk a little bit more from the heart. And dance has always been my first love. Like, that is where I found my space, my artistic expression, friendships, meaningful connections for life. And I danced for many years growing up. And middle of high school, I stopped dance because I was unfairly placed by my artistic director because I was not the right body type to be in her class. So I stopped for maybe 4 or 5 years. And I think it was maybe the spring of 2022, I took a dance class for the first time at the JC, and I had a great time. And I ended up joining the next year dance company because I was in ballet that year, and Gabe encouraged me to join the dance company. And so I started interacting with Cassandra and the dance director, and I was off put by a lot of the wording that she had used, the way that she taught, but I kind of swept it under. My parents are in education. My dad is a principal of a school, and my mom is a teacher. So I understand how people should act. I know how things go down. I know how meetings like this happen. I know that things are unfair. There's a lot that happens behind the scene, but I didn't really agree with it. And whatever, I'm just a student. It doesn't matter. I would ask other students if I should talk to her. They discouraged me, saying that that's just how she was. Even Gabe told me that she's just a mama bear. She's so sweet. And then I saw what this mama bear could do to her own students, to people that she considered her children. She used defamation. She unfairly treated Gabe for something that both him and Julian did together. And she failed him and made sure that he couldn't go to a whole outside excursion for a dance competition. And she used defamation towards him first because he threatened to, or he said that he was going to speak to the board or someone about the things that she had said or done in the past. I went with him to complete his grievance. We were told that nothing was going to happen because she's a tenure. I was worried about coming and joining the touring dance company. I was told by another faculty member that she just likes to protect her throne and she's overprotective, but if I let her have what she wants, it'll be okay. I had gone to another show with another student, and she pulled us aside and basically talked shit about the other school to us. She took us out completely just to be like, aren't you glad you're not a part of that school? And I have tried talking to her. There's been other situations that has happened, and we've talked as a group, and she's told me that I just go in circles. She's told me that I go nowhere, and that I've asked her if she, as the head of the department, has this ability to make these decisions, and she told me word for word, yes, she can.
3 minutes. Thank you. Next up, we have Jordan Isabella Tauser Pardo.
Good evening, President Dr. Garcia and members of the Board of Trustees. My name is Jordan Isabella Tauser Pardo, and this is now the third time I've come before you regarding the same unresolved issue. As you walked in tonight, you saw the peaceful protest outside, a reflection of how deeply the community feels unheard. Despite repeated efforts to bring the serious concerns to your attention, no meaningful action has been taken, and that's why I'm here again tonight. I've also taken the time to personally email each of you, including the president and the board chairs. And other than Dorothy emailing me a thank you for sending the email at 11 a.m. this morning, it's deeply disappointing that not one of you has responded. So I'm here to read it to ensure your attention. Dear President Dr. Garcia and members of the Board of Trustees, I'm writing this to express my continued concern regarding the ongoing issues involving Cassandra Hillman and the college's handling of related investigations. The Oak Leaf has published multiple articles highlighting concerns about Ms. Hillman's conduct, and her name has been repeatedly raised during public comments and at recent board meetings. These reports and testimonies have surfaced serious allegations that have not only affected students and faculty, but have left a deep stain within the CAD department. Allegations regarding retaliation, FERPA violations, breaches of Article 23, underage drinking, plagiarism, inappropriate conversations regarding narcotics, sex, race, stereotyping, racism, and her vulgar language when discussing other faculty members and students. The lack of clear and decisive action by the college has left dancers, faculty, and community members feeling unsafe and unheard. There's a growing sense of frustration and distrust among those affected. In response, community members held another peaceful protest and are here today so that these issues remain visible, and we will not allow you to placidly sit back, collect your paycheck, free healthcare, and do nothing. I have been in contact with legal counsel who believe I have a strong case. It is not my desire to pursue legal action against SRJC. However, as I have stated before, Ms. Hillman may be one individual acting unethically, but the greater concern lies in the institution's lack of communication, failure to protect students, and apparent negligence toward faculty and students who have been wrongfully retaliated against. It was my hope that today, behind closed doors, you would have actually read over my allegations in my case, as well as the others that came before me and the ones that followed. Have read the 2 Oakleaf articles, re-listened to the speeches that were said on both June 10th and September 9th, speak with your 3 different HR vice president heads over the last year and a half, and then put your big girl panties on to come to the conclusion that you must remove Cassandra Hillman from SRJC and make this college the safe and supportive junior college that my ancestors built it to be. As board elected representatives of the community, you have a duty to uphold transparency, accountability, and the college's mission. The community has entrusted you to ensure SRJC operates with integrity and that all actions taken by its administration reflect the college's stated values and commitment to fairness. Since the last board meeting, I have been threatened, continued to be retaliated against, and made to look like I was a threat to Hillman's safety. And yet Hillman still has her position. As of today, I have yet to have a single response, email, text, phone conversation, or written apology by Dr. Angelica Garcia or any of you. In my original email, I attached a few images of Hillman posted on her social media, being out on her second paid leave or paid vacation, as she likes to call it. I hope you saw there is nothing about changing, growing, reflecting, or bettering herself as a faculty member or teacher. I urge SRJC and the Board of Trustees to take immediate and transparent steps to review these ongoing concerns, communicate openly with the affected community, and demonstrate genuine accountability in protecting the well-being of everyone associated with the college. Thank you.
Next up, Abigail Drury.
Hello, my name is Abigail Drury, and I'm here to say that I do not want to dance under Cassandra Hillman. I have shied away from the dance company at the SRJC for about 2 years because of my first experience in high school while I was in one of her shows. She had a meltdown during one of the techs, and it kind of disrupted the whole show. She was screaming at Tanya. It was a very big deal. So because of that, I did not want to do join the company at the SRJC, but this year I took a risk. That is what a lot of people in the dance community know going to the SRJC dance company is. It is a risk to be under Cassandra Hillman. It is a risk to dance under her. I hope you guys all know that, and you all know that within the dance community, that is what's known. I have loved dancing under Kristen Daly and Tanya Knippelmeyer. I can't even express how much Kristen Daly has taught me, how valuable her expertise is, how much she has risen everyone, how much of a community the dance program is now, which especially from what I've heard, it was not in the past. I really hope you consider Kristen Daly for the future instead of Cassandra Hillman, because she is a very valuable member of the SRJC, and she is a beautiful person, as well as Tanya Knippelmeyer. But yeah, that is pretty much all I had to say. I do not want to dance under Cassandra Hillman. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Reese Williams.
Hi, everybody. My name is Reese Williams, and I have been dancing at the SRJC for a few semesters now. Last fall, I took a choreography class with Cassandra Hillman, and every single class I was told that I was not good. I was told that I was too technical. And for those who don't know, technique is like the base of dance, and everybody wants to have good technique. And I don't know why I was told that I was too technical, because that's typically a good thing. That's what people want. My best friend, who cannot be here today, was prescribed blood pressure reducers that she had to take before every class because she would have panic attacks in the presence of Cassandra Hillman. I mentioned in one class that I was grieving the loss of someone who helped shape me and who I am. And she laughed and said, "That's funny." And she asked how this person died. And I said, suicide was what we thought at the time. And she thought that was funny too. And I think that's a little bit weird for someone who is a teacher and is supposed to keep school a safe space. Laughing at suicide is not okay. Just, if you didn't know that. And dancing under her was the worst experience of my life. I have had a passion for dance since I was 13 and I started dancing. And the semester that I had with her, my whole passion for it was drained. And I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to do it. And a bunch of people in my life told me that it would be a waste to throw away my talent. So I've been like forcing myself to go back, trying to rebuild that. And with Tanya and Kristen, it has definitely helped, and the supportive dance environment of my peers. But Cassandra is just, not who you want to be around. And for someone who has a natural talent, like all of us, and a passion for dance, we don't want it ripped away from us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Emmett Grayson.
Man, okay. My name is Emmett, and I spoke last time, which was kind of a mess because I don't do public speaking, but because of the things that have been said to me from Cassandra and what I've heard from other people, and I've seen like how she interacts with other people. I am beyond disappointed and completely crushed of the way the board or whoever makes the decisions has been treating us, in which I've kind of had this trend now of every school I go at, something happens in which I'm the only one who's speaking out about it. And I'm glad that someone else did this time, but I'm flabbergasted and I'm disappointed in the way that this has been handled. I've had such a shit experience, excuse my language, if that's not allowed. At this point, what even is the rules at this point? Because she's clearly broken all of them. She's broken nearly all of them in federal laws outside and on campus. And yet we're probably like, oh shit, like, what are we doing? Genuinely, what in the actual hell are we doing here? Everyone in the dance community has had some negative experience with this person in which it's completely destroyed their passion for dance, for any career they've wanted outside of dance. Like a previous speaker wanted to join was looking to enlist, in which this person had deterred her from that and was like, oh, it'd be a waste of talent. But then when she would stay, it would be like she wasn't good enough, in which that makes me think, well, then what am I doing here? Because I started late and have just been screwed over and over by teachers, in which she is one of them. And I don't even know what to say anymore. Like we've shared our stories. We've shared all the things she's done to us, the body shaming, the racial biases, the outing of sexualities and orientations and whatever we do behind closed doors, the alcohol to minors. Like, are you guys serious right now? Like I don't have a very large vocabulary, if you couldn't tell, but I am dead ass so confused of what's happening. And for how much you all like can't even speak. I'm also scared. Like how much you preach of free speech, and we're a community. So are we. We are the dance community, and the dance community should not be this toxic ass environment anymore. It never should. I was so scared having to audition for her again this past semester, in which to hear that she was rumored to be back. Are you guys fucking kidding me? Like, she's destroyed so many people's confidence, comfortability in their own bodies and styles and whatever. And you guys are still like, oh no, we're gonna keep her hired. We're gonna keep a person who's been a scroll at this point.
That's your 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Gabrielle Rizzo.
Hello, my name is Gabriel Rizzo. You might know that by now, considering this is my third attempt speaking publicly on the issue here at the SRJC dance program. Hopefully third time's a charm, because I'm losing faith in the system. As I've came to these meetings, I've heard the board and president address local issues across our city, state, and country. But what about what's happening on school grounds, both in and out the classrooms? Sadly, this happily paid leave instructor is a publicly known issue that taints our dance program negatively in every local dance studio. This conversation ends the same. The SRJC is not doing anything to take accountability to believe and protect their students from this instructor's abuse is agreed upon collectively. What does the public think about all the students coming forward this summer, all semester long, pretending this one specific rotten instructor running our dance program? I hate calling this sad person an instructor because she amounts to none of the teachings and professionalism of any other dance instructor here at the SRJC. I wonder what you, the great board of trustees, thinks about my fellow peers and instructors coming forward with the same complaints. You see, not a single student, not a single faculty member has expressed interest of this witch coming back to teach here in our classrooms. I'm sorry, teaching is the wrong word to describe the actions taken by said faculty member. It's not teaching she has on her mind. Her form of teaching is taking apart each student and categorizing them based upon racial stereotypes, size, gender, ethnicity, and the ability to mimic Eurocentric standards that are easily applicable to those students who are white. If you are a student of color, prepare to be racially stereotyped by a white woman. Her teaching goes far beyond instruction, but to pin students against one another on an elementary school level of understanding for human interaction. She'll tell students to distance themselves from one another. She'll tell students gossip that has nothing to do with instruction or dance. She tells her students, and I quote, "Don't burn bridges because the dance community is small," implying that if you cross her, she'll take action. Well, this is ironic because she burned so many bridges that nobody in our dance community wants to work with her. I'm sorry, she needs more than just help far beyond psychiatric counseling. I hope tonight when she's staring back at her reflection in that empty beer glass, that she is reminding herself that she is the instructor who couldn't. She is the instructor who couldn't put her focus into her warm-ups and choreography to inspire students like Tanya Knippelmeyer, a teacher whose instruction, and choreography who has been nationally recognized multiple times and is the only reason why many students and myself choose to dance here. I'm running out of time, but please let me wrap up by saying Kristen Daly filling in this semester and providing a space where students' voices are heard. Individual growth is collective growth. Kristen has provided a safe space for students to learn where we don't want that taken away from us. And please let me say thank you, because I am eternally grateful. Thank you to Tanya Knippelmeyer, Tara Jacobson, Tamara Gross, Carrie Stillman, Laura Brennan, Leah Poisson, and Zinga Woods, Debbie Ann Medina, Jolene Johnson, Don Urista, Kristen Daly, and Alex Tesserano. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Braylon Ernest.
Hi, everyone. My name is Braylon Ernest. I'm just here to speak about the same issue. I think it's good to take a step back and just realize that I just want it to be known that we're all college students. We're all, taking other classes. We're working. Some of us have 1, 2, 3 jobs. I'm working full time. I think it says a lot that we have so many people in this room who took time out of their day that they could be at work, could be doing homework, could be relaxing, could be doing anything to come and speak about this. It's not just one person. It's not just 2. It's all of us. And, I need you guys to understand that we've been hurt by this person. We're hurt and we need you to make it stop. This is all that we can do. We need you guys really, really bad. This instructor has victimized, belittled, abused, harassed, and harmed students and staff for years now. How much longer is she going to stay on payroll? She's not even pretending, to not enjoy it. Here she is posting out here about her new set of nails on her paid time off. I can't stand it. We just want to dance in a safe space. Kristen Daly has created that for us and has gone above and beyond to make sure that we all feel seen, heard and loved. She's beyond qualified to help run this program. She should be the one doing it. I don't understand why when I check and I want to sign up for courses next semester, I see Cassandra Hillman named on like 14 plus classes. Why? How? I can't name one person who wants to take a class under her. Seriously, you guys just spent so much money making a new dance building. And I mean, I don't even know the amount of money that you guys did, and you're going to have no students in it. How's that going to work? How's that going to make sense? I encourage each and every one of you to come talk with us, to get to know us. You know, I think we're all very lovely people. I would really appreciate if you got to know us personally, because, you know, things aren't normally as tense as they are. And I'd love, you know, come to rehearsal, come to our show, December 19th and 20th, see what we're about, because seriously, we just want to express ourselves. We want to express our love and our passion through movement. It is our safe space. This is our time that we have where we feel, you know, our best. We'd love to have you guys there. So anything else I would like to say? Let's see. I just think, you know, this whole situation reflects really poorly on SRJC as a whole. I think none of us are going to stop, you know, even if she doesn't get removed. We will continue being here at these meetings. We'll continue posting online. It's not going away. So I think if you guys are able to nip it in the bud now, that would be for the best, for sure, for sure. I don't want new students, you know, coming in and having an experience with Cassandra Hillman and being like, damn, like, I don't want to dance anymore. I don't want to do this. SRJC sucks. What the heck? That's what I was told before I came here. And I still did it. And I've had a lovely time with Tanya and with Kristen and all of our instructors. They're very wonderful people.
That is your 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Next up, Gianna Johnson. Gianna Johnson. Here. Oh, yeah. I saw.
Hello, everyone. My name is Deanna Johnson. I am the president of Black Student Union, and I came to address an issue that we've been having for over 5 weeks now. In the end of August, there was an interaction with one of our BSU members in Pacific Dining's Bear Den, where the student was in a verbal altercation with someone that he is not wanting to communicate with. That day, instead of being met with empathy and de-escalation care to handle that situation, the student was instead told to shut the F up, told to get out, told that he would have the police called on him to scrape his punk ass off the floor, excuse my language. And don't think that this is customer service, nor do I think that is something that aligns with our mission statement as a college. And I have been talking about this. I've talked about this with SGA, with ICC to get my other students in the know. I'm here today to share the same advocacy to the rest of my college community and campus. While Pacific Dining has gone public with this issue, saying, what was the word? We are spreading unfounded rumors. We do have witness statements that count for at least 5 different times of profanity. We have, we don't even know if they were considered in their investigation. According to their investigation, no profanity was used, no racially offensive words were used. For anyone who needs to know, weaponizing, for anybody who needs the facts, I don't think we need to contest history of policing Black communities in this country. But the fact is that the police was specifically weaponized against a Black student on this campus, and that is not debatable at all. Sorry.
Please, no more statements from the audience.
Viewing a student as a threat or a predator where there was no threat made, where there was no acts towards violence, where there was nothing but advocacy for himself in that space, saying this person is not supposed to be in communication with me. This person has been a threat to my life. This person has not, this is not somebody I want to be in community with, was met with shut the F up. If that's not telling behavior, it's at least poor customer service. And I encourage the JC to actually, and we are in conversation about it, but we have been in boycott for over 5 weeks with no apology from Pacific Dining. We're still seeking resolution. And I don't know that we're at the point that harm can be repaired anymore. I share this all to encourage you to be mindful of the choices you're making with who you patronize on this campus. This is a longstanding vendor. We are asking for termination of the employee flat out, right? We are asking for a vendor code of conduct to be created so that students can be protected for those they are patronizing with on this campus. And if you don't find an issue with the statement that was said, I really encourage you to sit back and reflect on why that's not an issue for you and be honest about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any public comments online? No? All right, then I will close the public comment. What was the name? Edward, please go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Edward Gathical, psychology major and Gold Star family member. In honor of Veterans Day and defending justice, all gave some gave all. Due to the lack of accountability of a recent racist threatening remark made from an employee of Pacific Dining to a student of color, students have been encouraged to boycott Pacific Dining throughout the district. A serious violation occurred in August at the beginning of the fall semester. Multiple departments on campus have been refusing food service for over 10 weeks, costing Pacific Dining tens of thousands of dollars that they don't care about. We care about our students. As an unhoused SRJC DRD reentry student in the EOPS Bear Cub Scholar programs and a member of the SRJC Baha'i and ITSU clubs, I stand in solidarity with the students on campus, especially those students from the Black Student Union and the Sawabona Black Learning and Opportunity Center. We can see you at the block in creating anti-racist culture. We should not allow any expression of threat, racism, or prejudice to go unchecked. I interpret the mission, values, land acknowledgement, and the SRJC board's statements of solidarity as lending itself to an anti-racist culture and a celebration of our community's diverse cultures. In translating those words into reality, there is much to learn, practice, and implement. Racism has deep roots within the garden of humanity and must be eradicated and uprooted for our collective growth and prosperity. Unity cannot exist without justice. In truth, I speak to unity, not as a division of us versus them. And love must conquer hate, and we must do more to see the people in our community, Sawabona. Therefore, I plead with the Board of Trustees, please help students change racist attitudes and beliefs, and will they keep students safe? I will end my statement with the following quotes from a Baha'i International Community Statement delivered in Geneva of 1989, emphasizing the following. From the Baha'i perspective, racism is one of the most baneful and persistent evils in society. Racial discrimination is baneful because it violates the dignity of human beings, and yet it persists. Racism is poisonous because it cripples its victims, corrupts its perpetrators, and blights human progress, and yet it persists. Why? We believe that racism persists precisely because it is deeply rooted in outdated attitudes and erroneous beliefs. Accordingly, any campaign to eradicate racism must change those attitudes and beliefs. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else online? Check in one more time. No? Then we will close the public comment and move on to item B7, monthly updates, starting with the college president's report.
Good evening, trustees, colleagues, students, community members. I want to begin my report today by thanking the media services team for their work in setting up the meeting space, not only for today, but each and every month. Your professionalism and attention to details ensures that SRJC provides accessible meetings for the community. Thank you very much. My sincerest gratitude and appreciation also goes out to SRJC students, employees, and community members who have served in the military. I truly mean thank you for your service. It does not go unnoticed. And lastly, in terms of acknowledgements here, Employee of the Month, Kyle McHarris, who joined SRJC in 2022, had the chance to connect with him earlier today. And he was very excited to talk about the production, Ride the Cyclone, the musical. So I'm looking forward to going to that this weekend, but more importantly, for seeing what a professional and caring colleague can do for students. So it was really great to connect with him. We have heard a lot of comments over the past meetings about the impacts and experiences that students have had. I know that the trustees have been listening. I know that I have been listening, and I want to acknowledge that while it feels like nothing is being done, that is not true. I wish that I could say more. I wish that we could engage in a different way, but as a district, we have a responsibility not only to students, but also to our employees. And I wholeheartedly know that we are supporting students in the best way that we can, but I want to acknowledge and apologize that it cannot be the ways in which students need right now. And so I wish that they would have stayed because I wanted to make eye contact with every single student, that I acknowledge that we cannot engage in a way that makes students feel like they are being heard and seen. Don't know how else to convey. You are being heard, you are being seen, and the district takes very seriously. And when I say the district, I want to say the people, me, trustees, the leadership team, the faculty, the classified professional. We take very seriously the responsibility of what it means to support students while also acknowledging that we have a duty and a responsibility within the space that we occupy. So I wish that it could be different. I'm sorry that it cannot, but I want you to hear that I do see you, that we do hear you. I also want to reiterate some comments that I shared at last month's board meeting or special meeting, which was that as soon as the president's office realized there was a posting error for the October Board of Trustees meeting, the meeting was canceled immediately in order to ensure compliance with the Brown Act. I want to remind the community that we've reviewed our posting procedures and made modifications in order to ensure that this will not happen again. This board and this district takes conducting the public business very seriously, and any accusations otherwise are not telling of the work that this board does. You will notice in today's board packet written communications, including the board brief for November and several written program updates. There's quite a few of them. We have zero textbook costs and open educational resources, which is an incredibly important element to support students so that textbook costs do not become a prohibitive reason for them not to pursue courses. There is a program update for early college credit, the AB 1705 supplement grant funding and efforts, and the fall 2025 Veterans Success Center. My written president's report will be added after this board meeting to the packet, and it will be made available to the public. Now, for some closing oral remarks, I do want to share a couple of highlights, and it's going to be in the written report, but I want to make sure that our community knows it. Beginning October 8th, 2025, the district experienced a computer network disruption that resulted in problems accessing network drives and other systems. Our IT team, working closely with external consultants, developed and implemented a resolution. Access to network drives, including X drives and departmental drives, was restored on October 17, 2025. While we've made progress toward resolving many of the recent issues, we recognize that some areas are still experiencing lingering impacts, and our IT team remains fully committed to addressing all outstanding disruptions as quickly and as thoroughly as possible. Once we complete the technical assessments, our next priority will be to upgrade and enhance our computer network infrastructure. These improvements will strengthen our overall system stability, increase performance, and help prevent future service interruptions. Since our last meeting, the district has initiated the Generative AI Task Force that has had full engagement and support from faculty, classified professionals, administrators, and this board, of course, it's in one of our board goals in terms of supporting innovation. Pleased to share that we had our first meeting and we have our next meeting coming up next week. That task force has 41 members strong that are going to be engaging in some pretty serious work related to how the district engages in Gen AI, both inside the classroom and outside, most importantly, in terms of how we're supporting and preparing students. November 18th at SRJC Roseland, there's a strong collaboration with SGA, the Undocu Dream Center, and the President's Office in support of student engagement. I will host my pop-up with the President at 6 p.m. per the request of students. They asked that I please have one during the evening session to support evening students on that site. And so I'm looking forward to that. Very excited to be partnering with SGA President and the leadership team. They are bringing forth a lot of opportunities to remind Roseland students that they are student leaders, that they can get engaged, that there are clubs and programs and services for them. We also have the Undocu Dream Center conducting Know Your Rights workshops that evening in English and Spanish. So pop up with the President starts at 6, the Know Your Rights workshop at 7, and SGA will be there from beginning to end, providing all the engagement opportunities. And I want to close with this. As we enter a season of holidays and celebrations, I want to invite us all to have some patience and grace with one another. These times can be filled with fun and family, community traditions, and eating, but it can also be filled with loss, trauma, and disconnectedness. So please take care of yourselves. Students, please use the resources available. Don't hesitate to visit the food pantry. While the campus is closed, we want to make sure that you have sufficient food during that time. And in closing here, I want to share that the district team is prepared to support the Board of Trustees in the upcoming study session focused on the student experience, success, and completion on December 9th at 3 p.m. That concludes my remarks for this evening.
Thank you. Next up, we have our bond update with Vice President Kate Jolly.
Good afternoon, President Shaban, members of the board, college community, Dr. Garcia. I have a very short update for you this month. So at Towser, we're now substantially complete. We are commissioning the building and working through a couple minor adjustments that have popped up. We have scheduled the moves for next month between the breaks, and we'll have the notice of completion for you in December. For the Pioneer Security Project, DSA did request some additional information as part of their fire life safety review. We've submitted the info on the fire alarm system as requested, and we're anticipating approval in the next few weeks so we can begin construction. We anticipate that project to be completed by next winter. At Race, DSA again requested additional information from Fire Life Safety Review, this time for the fire sprinkler system. We had the engineer on site to document, and we have resubmitted that back to DSA now. We assume that we'll have approval shortly, and we anticipate completion of the large classroom this summer or this next summer. Going up to Windsor for the fire tower, we remain in design. We've submitted increment 1, which are the site-related plans to DSA. We've received their initial comments and working our way through them. We are still working with the vendor engineers on phase 2 plans, which are the tower. We plan to submit those in February and anticipate completion in December of 2026. At SRJC Roseland, the Welcome Center looks like a building now. So the installation of the metal roof has been completed. We've finished the painting of the exterior of the space. On the inside, we're framing and installing all of the windows, the ceiling, the fire sprinklers are getting installed. We will have exterior site work completed by the end of this month, pending weather cooperation. So we're currently held up after a delayed DSA approval on the skylight that has now been approved, and we are receiving an anticipated delivery date of the end of December. So once we have that installed, we'll be able to move forward with the furniture and technology. When we have a firm date, we'll be able to plan the opening, but we're looking like it will likely be the end of January. And we have 2 items on the agenda that have not been highlighted. We have a change order resolution 2025 for $9,849 for Lunabis Hall for the automotive lift for some minor electrical changes. And we have a change or an amendment of contract for the student information system. As we map out the final pieces of that implementation, we needed to assess to see what was needed for that contract for extension. In September, I had brought a bridge contract amendment of 500 hours to allow time to continue to refine that timeline and assess any training needs for the district. Now that we've done that assessment, we're requesting an additional amendment of 453,570 to complete the project, and that is budgeted under the Measure H ITG funds. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any board members with questions? No, hopefully, we think that's the last change order on the lifts and
Oh,
the
don't
lifts
curse
are.
me.
Okay,
I-
we'll knock on wood.
I really hope so.
All right, yeah. Next, that brings us to our student trustee report. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Board President Shaban, board members, President Garcia, and our college community. Thank you for the opportunity to update you all. First and foremost, happy Native American Heritage Month. I hope we can all use this opportunity to reflect on whose land we're inhabiting, to honor those who came before us, and appreciate our neighbors today. I'd like to start with some personal work updates. First, representatives from the American College Health Association recently visited our campus, and I participated in student discussion groups about the state of our health department. Much of the conversation centered on basic needs, one of our food pantries that's shut down, and our wide range of resources that remain underutilized due to limited marketing and collaboration. I also attended a Know Your Rights event in our Intercultural Center today, Club Day 2 weeks ago, my regular committees, and a student trustee caucus meeting through SSCCC, where we began planning collaborative projects for the year ahead. I'm finishing up revising some of our governing documents in SGA, and I'm looking into our budget and how we can improve accessibility and transparency. I also want to speak briefly on the boycott led by BSU in protest of Pacific Dining, our campus meal contractor. I want to be transparent about the incident between a person of color and a Pacific Dining employee, but at this time, the school is leading the discussion and I don't have every detail of the situation. That being said, I feel the weight and importance of what's happening, and I don't want silence to speak louder than care. The BSU's decision comes from a place of both pain and principle. Pacific Dining's investigation concluded that no racial slurs were used, but this moment speaks to something deeper, the way Black individuals are too often denied grace, empathy, or understanding in moments of distress. The student involved was reacting to a difficult personal situation. Regardless of which policies were followed or broken, we as a community must ask not only what happened, but why it happened, and whether our responses uplift or marginalize those who are already vulnerable. Student government and admin and BSU and Pacific Dining had a meeting on October 31st and provided an overview of how the district and Pacific Dining handled the situation, and attendees shared the impact of the event. They will have another meeting on November 21st to discuss how response can be improved going forward. We should focus on the values in the BSU's constitution to create Black awareness and voice the opinions and issues of Black students, to build a better relationship between the Black and white students, and to have a group on campus which cares for the Black community. I also have some zines that they've been passing around if anyone would like to see them or wants to pass them around or wants to know more information. In principle, when we face situations involving racism, hate, or bias, I do not and will not support the behavior of those who perpetuate harm. I stand in solidarity with the BSU and their right to protest, to demand accountability, and to seek meaningful change. Students deserve active listening, transparent communication, and restorative action that centers those most directly impacted. Every student deserves and has a right to feeling safe and seen on every campus. On our broader community climate, last month I talked about a fellow student trustee currently living in Mexico City after being deported while seeking asylum. I want to use his story to highlight the ongoing presence of ICE in our community and how we can best protect our colleagues, students, and families. In my meeting with Dr. Garcia this morning, we discussed available resources and policies. To quote our district's resolution, resolved that the Sonoma County Junior College District and its Board of Trustees declare that Santa Rosa Junior College and all its campuses and centers are a safe haven for undocumented students and marginalized populations. I appreciate the materials provided, including the resolution, Know Your Rights cards, and our administrative policies regarding immigration enforcement activities. If any student would like copies of these documents, please reach out to me or the president's cabinet. These are very scary times, and we must continue ensuring the safety of our students, showing up for one another when systems fail, and turning empathy into action. Lastly, as some of you know, we held our first SGA meeting at the Roseland campus last week. I want to thank everyone who made that possible and share some of the challenges students voiced. Access to basic needs resources like food, childcare, mental health, legal, and employment services during evening hours. Expansion of main campus services like library access, student IDs, counseling, legal immigration support at Roseland. Digital literacy and computer training for research and workforce readiness. Improved marketing and communication, including awareness of ICE protocol and available services, and increased campus space and resources to support students and programs. Thank you for your attention. That concludes my report.
Yeah, thank you very much for that very thoughtful and detailed report. That brings us to any comments from the board. Do I have any board members with comments? So we'll start with Trustee Bailey and then go to Trustee.
Thank you, Board President Shaban. I'd like to first and foremost acknowledge the fact that our students, you'll be seen, heard, and valued. I also want to echo the sentiments of our Superintendent President, Dr. Garcia. In our, not just attempt, but in the efforts to create an environment that is not only inclusive, but supportive of all students, staff, and faculty here, I want to assure you that your voices have been heard. I also want to echo the leadership of our President, Superintendent Garcia, and I just want to say that I am truly honored to not only sit on the Board of Trustees, but to acknowledge the work, effort, and energy that has gone into the district being a beacon for this county. And when I say a beacon, not only of hope, it gives me hope to hear students' voices, to hear students express their frustration and their concern. It gives me hope because they are expressing their concerns with regards to their experience. But I also want to acknowledge the work of our vice presidents, the administration, and the staff that continues day in and day out to support our community. We're looking to be, and we're striving to be an example within the community. And that's why I truly want to acknowledge also the report of Trustee Clark. Again, I want to thank you for the depth of your observation, the direct observation and what you're hearing from student peers. And I just want to assure you that as we move into this particular holiday season, with the echoings of everyone having different experiences, we're living in a very tumultuous and traumatic time of it appears that there's a lot of approval given to, let's say, behavior that is not warranted. And I would say that if your behavior, should I say, the ideas of your support is for the future and the direction of the institution moving forward, we truly welcome it. We also want to hear the voices of dissent. But in hearing those voices, we want to make sure that you know that everyone that is working, that we're clearly working together to provide an environment of academic support, but also with regards to how we're moving throughout the future of this nation. So I just want to say thank you all for being here and the time that you are committing. But I want to make sure that you understand that your voices are not going unheard. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those comments. Next, Trustee Martinez.
Sorry. I just wanted to thank Superintendent Garcia and all that were in attendance on Monday. On Monday, after many months of work and some rescheduling, we were able to host Santa Rosa Junior College Roseland site roundtable. Sarah, I think I looked at Sarah and Sarah as through us, but also the foundation, and actually taking a tour of the campus, but more than anything, having a conversation with community members, leaders of Southwest, Northwest area around that new site. Well, it's not new, but our updates, upgrades, and so on. And it was really refreshing. I attendance about the needs and concerns of that community and how we want to see the shaping of Roseland site. And I was really excited because it was for a long time coming, and there was a lot of delays in making this uplift of the campus. But I was really excited because I could see on both ends the community really wanting to express what they would envision, but also for many of them, it was the first time seeing our site. Even as under construction, they were very impressed. They are, I think, more than anything, just like I have been, very hopeful of what that space can do, and not just the physical space, but the, ¿cómo se dice? Like what we represent and what we can do for the community itself. We are academic excellence, and that's what they want to highlight to the community as well. Like, these areas are academic excellence, they just needed a space to come and showcase it. And I think that was very much reflected in those conversations we had. I was very excited. I'm excited about our foundation and our administration being there. Maggie was there representing the foundation, but I think that was very powerful for the community to see. And again, for me, I mean, we've been waiting for a long time. We broke ground about 2 years ago, and it's finally coming to fruition. And that's just kind of like the beginning. There's other things that are happening on that side, and I'm looking forward to that. And also just, again, is the community, the Roseland Southwest, Northwest area, realizing that they have an academic space for them, and that we've been wanting to sort of, show it to them. And so I'm really grateful for that and being able to actually put it in action. The other thing I wanted to say is, it feels like I haven't been here forever, but we had the meeting in October, and because it was delayed, I was able to, or canceled, I was able to attend. But I really want to say that a lot of the events that occurred in October, especially at Sean Farm, I really appreciate the staff and the work that they do out there. They've been working also with a nonprofit that is really close to me and my heart, and they just been hosting some youth, and they love the space, and it's also a recognition of like, it exists and it exists for us. And so it was kind of cool to kind of hear that on another angle and another site that we have. And so I've been really excited about all of that work. I also just want to thank the entire campus, but my colleagues and all that, for being there during a very difficult time. And I would have never expected it, but thank you and all of our administrators and leaders on the campus, and even students. Students have approached me and given condolences. And so I'm really grateful for a lot of that, because I definitely, last month was a fog, so I know things happen. And we made an effort to show up more than anything to keep some normalcy around our life. But thank you so much to my colleagues here, to the administration, Dr. Garcia, and definitely students and staff, because you really showed up when you didn't have to. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other board member comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to item B8 reports, starting with the Classified Senate report with the Classified Senate President Linda J.
Good evening, President Shaban, Board of Trustees, Dr. Garcia, college community. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the Classified Senate. Congratulations to Kyle McHarris as Employee of the Month. It is apparent that Kyle's creativity, kindness, and calm leadership shines in everything he does. By transforming the stagecraft area and bringing life back to it, to making it accessible, he has made the students feel relaxed and welcome. His dedication to students and his collaborative spirit make him an invaluable part of our theater, arts, and fashion team. Thank you to Kyle for everything he does for our Bear Cubs. Last month, I had the opportunity to attend a one-day retreat for the Northern Gathering of the Senates hosted by Sierra College in Rockland. It was a busy and interesting day learning information and demographics on California community colleges, statuses of other classified senates and their colleges, and what their current challenges are. For instance, even though classified professionals make up roughly 33.5% of community college employees, which is about 13% more than full-time faculty, some colleges don't yet have a classified senate established at all, possibly eliminating them from the governance structure altogether. During the event, we received updates regarding the California Community College Classified Senate's 9+1 framework and the resolution to seek inclusion of classified senates in Title V, formally acknowledging classified professionals in district governance. The resolution has been unanimously supported by the ASCCC and the SSCCC, and has received supportive statements by Chancellor Sonia Christian. The next step is for California's classified senates across the state to advocate with their district boards of trustees and administrations for all senates to be formally recognized in Title V and the participatory governance structure. SRJC classified professionals are fortunate for our district already adopted the 9+1 framework into our participatory governance structure. I'd like to say thank you to the board members, administration, faculty, and all management team members for your support of the 9+1 and continual inclusion of classified professionals. After seeing what some other senates are dealing with, I feel very grateful for what we have here today. In the spirit of gratitude and appreciation this season, the Classified Senate will be selling gratitude grams this month. Each gram will include a cute thank you message. Each gram and a graphic will include a personalized message from the sender. A small acorn will also be attached to each gram as a little seed of gratitude. You can't see it, it's literally a tiny seed of gratitude. It's a simple way to show thanks to a coworker, your staff, your student, your friends across campus for helping on a project, being a great colleague, or just for brightening someone's day. Orders will be taken through November 21st. Senate members will hand deliver the gratitude grams, spreading positivity and appreciation throughout our district campuses the week of November 24th. Please check your email announcement and order form. And remember, just a small bit of thanks can help brighten someone's day. And as a reminder for my chocolate lovers, C's Candy orders are currently open and will be through December 5th. I'd also like to give a shout out to our Bear Cubs for their strength, courage, and determination. I am continuously amazed by them on the daily. They educate me on the daily, and they give me a hope for a brighter future. I hope you all have a great holiday. You are all able to connect with somebody that you love. And thank you for your support of classified professionals. Have a great night.
Thank you. Next up, we have the Student Government Assembly report with SGA President William Garcia.
In my native language, Sakari Konoher, Tuka Kashlansi. President Shaban, Dr. Garcia, and members of the board, good afternoon. I'd like to start by sharing that our Student Life Committee officially relaunched last week for the first time since 2019. This is an exciting step forward for students' engagement at SRJC. We currently have 74 active clubs showing our students, showing how our students are coming together and getting more involved across all campuses. We are also preparing to send a delegate to represent SRJC at the Student Senate for California Community Colleges, SSCCC. Diego Roman will be going on behalf of Ben Alcantar, and we are proud to see how our students actively participating at the statewide level. Our current SGA cohort is very motivated and focused on building inclusion and connection. We are taking this time to review our bylaws, election rules, and propose amendments to our fellowship program that compensates SGA officers. We are also exploring updates to our structure to better align SGA with SRJC's vision for the future. One of the most meaningful accomplishments this semester is that for the first time, SGA held an official meeting at Roseland campus. This event was made possibly thanks to the collaboration of faculty, programs, and many students who attended. We also hosted an open forum where students openly shared their needs, ideas, and experiences. It was a powerful reminder that every campus deserves to be heard, and we are committed to continuing these meetings, not only in Roseland, but also in other locations to strengthen our student representation district-wide. In addition, we recently, SGA agreed to collaborate with Dr. Garcia on a community event at Roseland campus on November 18th. This campus has often been overlooked for decades, and our goal is to bring more activities, visibility, and opportunities there to make students feel seen and valued. We are also excited about upcoming launch of our Latin Student Center, which will provide more space for cultural connection, inclusion, and community. Lastly, I want to take a moment to recognize our SGA advisor, Zach, who continues to serve temporarily in bringing student affairs and facilities and events. We are truly thankful for his support and ongoing connection with our team. In summary, this semester has been about rebuilding engagement, increasing visibility across campuses, and making sure every student voice counts. Thank you for your time and support. And lo voy a decir en español también. Presidente Shaban, doctora García y miembros del board, muy buenas tardes a todos. Quiero compartir que nuestro comité de vida estudiantil se lanzó oficialmente la semana pasada. Por primera vez desde 2019, este es un paso muy importante para fortalecer la participación estudiantil en SRJC. Actualmente tenemos 74 clubes activos, lo cual demuestra el crecimiento de la conexión entre los estudiantes en todos los campuses. También estamos preparando el envío de un delegado que representa a SRJC en el Senado Estudiantil de los Colegios Comunitarios de California. Diego asistirá en representación de Ben y nos enorgullece que nuestros estudiantes participen a nivel estatal. Nuestro equipo de SGA está muy comprometido y enfocado en construir más inclusión y conexión. Estamos aprovechando este tiempo para revisar nuestros estatutos, regla de elecciones y proponer enmiendas al programa de becas que apoya económicamente a los oficiales del SGA. Además, estamos analizando mejoras en nuestra estructura para alinearnos con la visión futura del SRJC. Uno de nuestros logros más importantes este semestre fue que por primera vez tuvimos una reunión oficial del SGA en el campus de Roseland. Este evento fue posible gracias a la colaboración de la facultad, varios programas y muchos estudiantes que participaron. También realizamos un foro abierto donde los estudiantes compartieron sus necesidades, ideas y experiencias. Esto nos recordó lo importante que es que todos los campuses sean escuchados y nuestro compromiso es continuar realizando estas reuniones no solo en Roseland, sino también en otros lugares para fortalecer la representación estudiantil en todo el distrito. Además, recientemente colaboramos con la doctora García en un evento comunitario en el campus de Roseland que tomará lugar el 18 de noviembre. Este campus ha sido olvidado por décadas y nuestro objetivo es traer más actividades, visibilidad y oportunidades para que los estudiantes se sientan incluidos y valorados. También estamos emocionados por el lanzamiento de nuestro Centro de Latinos, que brindará un espacio dedicado a la inclusión cultural y comunitaria. Finalmente, quiero reconocer a nuestro asesor del SGA, Zach, que continuará apoyando temporalmente como enlace entre asuntos estudiantiles e instalaciones y eventos. Estamos muy agradecidos por su apoyo y su conexión constante con nuestro equipo. En resumen, este semestre se ha tratado de reconstruir la participación, aumentar la visibilidad en todos los campus y asegurar que cada voz estudiantil cuente. Muchas gracias, Maltia Shewa.
Thank you very much. All right, that brings us on to the information agenda, starting. Well, I think, yeah, we'd probably go through one at a time. Because we have one public comment on C3. So I think if we take them one at a time. Is there anything on that particular item you wanted to say? Item C1, monthly district board briefs. This was a written item with no presentation included. Are there any board questions or comments on that? Or public comments on that item? Seeing none, we'll go to item C2, the zero textbook cost program. Again, there was a written update item. Is there any public comment on that or board members wishing to speak on that item? Nope. All right, that brings us to item C3, which is the early college credit update. This doesn't have a presentation scheduled, although I have some questions, but we do have a public comment on that. So we'll take the public comment first. Mike Vonderporten, please go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Mike Vonderporten speaking as a citizen. I think this early college credit is very important. I think we're learning that the more we reach down into the lower levels to bring in high school students or even earlier, the better off we are. I'll invite you to examine, though, the chart. The chart talks about duplicated headcount, and that's great. I mean, the numbers are up. We want those increased enrollment. The question is it because we're getting more students or because students are taking more units? So, or how is that being measured? So we need to dig into that number a little deeper, and we need to understand which of those programs that are being talked about are driving that success. If we can understand where the success is, maybe we can build more of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do other board members have questions on this item or comments? I have a handful that I have. Please come up and let me gather my thoughts. So this is really helpful. I mean, I think what we see from the report is there's good growth between 24, 25. One of the questions I wanted to clarify is when you're talking about the number of sections and the number of courses, if we can start there, and then I'll ask a few other items.
Yeah, that was a great catch on your end. That where it says in that first paragraph next to the chart, we went from overall SRJC is offering 29 CCAP courses. Those are sections. We have about 18 CCAP courses right now and 29 sections. Yes, that was an error.
And, as we look at the pipeline, I think, one of the things that took a good deal of effort and time was getting these, courses and progressions sort of developed and approved and in place. And now there's, options that as other districts are looking to adopt that they can pull from. So I'd be interested to hear, looking ahead to, building towards next fall in enrollment, how much of this is trying to fill out, duplicate sections through existing pathways or moving, new pathways to a high school perhaps that's in place from another one. And then I guess the third bucket is going to be just developing additional pathways that we haven't developed. So I'd be interested to sort of figure out how that's looking, because this is, I think, as we look forward towards enrollment growth, one of the it's been very successful. As we said, there's close to 20,000 students in the district. That's sort of a captive audience that we could really help. And the numbers show that these CCAP courses really help enrollment and completion for students that participate. So I'd just be interested in sort of seeing the path forward from here. This is a good snapshot of where we are. So
Yeah, that is the real work, right? So we have been successful in developing some pathways that now we can sustain. For example, our ag pathway at Annalee High School. A lot of work has been done to make that happen, and that is something that we sort of are best practice that we can now look at duplicating or modifying for other areas. There are so many factors that go into that. All of our high school partners have different bell schedules, different student populations, different needs, different interests. So if we start with a particular course that juniors or seniors take, and we see that there's a lot of interest, a lot of education that happens within the high schools themselves to the parents, then we can see that maybe that pathway could start earlier and we could offer additional courses to complete it. So we are just in our second year of doing that. And we're seeing that with child development as well. We're starting that with healthcare pathways. It all depends on faculty availability, qualified faculty that can go out to the high schools and teach them too. So just because we can do it once doesn't mean that we can do it 10 times, because we need faculty to teach it. So there's a lot of those pieces, but we're steadily growing. We began planning for fall 26 and spring 27 already. And we're looking right now at 85 courses that high schools are interested in, and bringing on board 4 different high schools. That then dwindles down when we see what's available, what's a good match for a CCAP course, where there's student interest, where we can go and have faculty available. Sometimes the high school teachers are qualified, so we hire high school teachers to teach those courses, and sometimes there are no high school teachers that can teach. We always go through our AFA process for all of this anyways, but so identifying faculty to teach it to is another layer. There are so many steps to make it happen.
yeah, it's definitely not easy. So I appreciate all your work and the work of everyone who's put the effort in there. So if I'm hearing right, so success, for 26, 27 looks like maybe doubling the number of
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Is that something that we're shooting for? All right, you heard
Yeah,
it here
our-
for guaranteed
If I
doubling
may
for
say,
26, 27.
our strategic enrollment management plan does not outline doubling every year.
I
and just
understand.
a steady growth. We are ahead of that curve already.
Yeah, I mean,
so
that's
doubling
one
would
thing
be, I think, more than success. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Any other board members with comments on this item? Trustee Bailey.
Yes, with regards to the.
Go ahead.
trustee-
No, you go ahead.
Go ahead, Trustee
Yeah,
Bailey.
my question was, the 200 local high school students, are you able to identify the high schools that actually participated? I know that when you mentioned the Annalee and the ag program, but the other high schools within that allowed us to have those 200 students?
Absolutely. So for CCAP courses, yes, because those are all the districts and high schools that we have our MOUs from. So we know exactly who those students are for those high schools. But for all of our students that are not in just CCAP, but any of those 7,500 enrollments, we can identify what high schools they come from. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, thank you. Please go ahead, Trustee Battenfeld.
Yeah, I assume we're doing it, but I'd just be interested also in, once students take a CCAP course, even if there's like not another course at the high school, the fact that they already know how to register, does that mean they're like maybe, say, taking some online courses or doing other courses with us?
We have not tracked those students, kind of post CCAP students, or where they go. I would have to defer to Dr. Smotherman.
I don't know if it's possible, or
Yeah.
even knowing, how many of those students are then coming to the JC when they graduate. It would just be, if because I know that's one of the issues is I hear from students. I mean, it's not our fault. It's the chancellor's or board of governors rules about how hard it is to register as a high school student still. But the fact that we're helping them, hopefully.
Yeah,
maybe
and for all of our CCAP students, our outreach team and our team goes out to the high schools for orientations, and they sit with them, help them and both enroll to the CCC apply and SRJC application and dual enrollment form. So they do get experience in that form, but absolutely tracking them post CCAP is something that we need to focus on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other trustees with any comments or questions? Well, thank you very much. That was very informative. Next up, item C4, that's AB 1705 supplemental grant funding and efforts. That is a written presentation, excuse me, a written update, but do we have any public comments in the room? Seeing none, or board members wishing to speak? Trustee Bricker, please go ahead.
Yeah, I really appreciate all the written updates. I like pour through all of this stuff. So thank you to everybody who's doing the work on these. This one in particular, I just wanted to highlight the massive lift of work that was in all of this. And all of it was very familiar from what you all said you were going to do. You implemented all these things, and looking at just the results of the work that has been done, including the summer bridge pilot program. Like, I loved reading the quotes that came from students after that program, the confidence that they felt about being able to come into SRJC. But also, I just wanted to highlight the data in here and the progress. I think that's really promising. I think there's more to be done, but I just wanted to acknowledge that we are on a good path here. I'm seeing like these raw numbers are the highest, at least in these charts, that we've ever seen. And so that is a really positive sign in my mind. And I think that the stuff that we're doing, it's showing that it matters. And I just wanted to acknowledge that in this room with this group. And thank you all who are doing the heavy lifting on the ground for that.
Thank you. Other trustees with any questions or comments? Yeah, I'd echo that. It's very encouraging to see those numbers, and I think we've embraced the idea here that, you know, hope is not a strategy, or, you know, there are some supports that we need to put around this, and sort of testing out and seeing, you know, at least, you know, it's still early times, but seeing some dividends being paid for those efforts, and being very intentional about those supports and working within the legal framework that the state has mandated on us. So appreciate everyone who put work into that report and who's doing just the day-to-day work. Next up is item C5, the Veterans Success Center. That's a written update as well. Was there any public comments on that item, or board members wishing to speak on that? Seeing none, we'll go to item C6, which is a career education update. Was there any public comment or board members wishing to comment on that item? All right, seeing none, then we are to C7. That's the ACCJC accreditation midterm report. Dr. Smotherman.
Good evening, Board President Shaban, Dr. Garcia, community. I'm here to provide an update related to our accreditation midterm report. So just as a quick, brief introduction for everybody, when we're looking at our accreditation, the midterm report is really about showing our progress since our last comprehensive. We're looking to highlight any major improvements, any actions taken to formal responses for improvement, as well as any measurable gains and outcomes. It's really just an aspect of an initial reflection in preparation for our comprehensive report, which will happen a couple of years later. For the midterm report, it has 4 main categories that they're looking for. It's reflection on continuous improvement, looking at our institutional set standards, reflection on our assessment of student learning, and then again, looking ahead to the comprehensive. So it's really about setting the stage of what the future is going to be looking like. The first section, in terms of the reflections on continuous improvement, the suggested length by ACCJC is 3 pages. I'm noting this mainly because in past aspects of ACCJC, people are usually used to having a 70, 80-page report that they're looking for. This is not the case in this next round of evaluations from ACCJC. So within this, we use our accreditation oversight committee to really provide a recommendation in terms of what should this area of the midterm report be. The recommendation went to the Planning and Budget Council, and I've provided this update to the board in, I believe it was April. But this is what we landed on, is making sure that we're addressing our requirements. Student learning outcomes was the major requirement that we had from our last comprehensive evaluation. And then we've addressed that, and that's where led to our accreditation fully being established by ACCJC earlier this year. Our quality focus essay, the areas that we have listed there, as well as improvement plans and our organizational changes. These all align to the standards as well that ACCJC has for the college. The next areas are in terms of reflections on institutional set standards. And again, the suggested length is 3 pages. These are all the areas that are connected to this component of it. We have an annual report that we provide to ACCJC every single year. This also connects to our institutional set standards and our indicators of effective outcomes that I presented to the board. A lot of data in 3 pages to try to provide context for. So just making sure I highlight that aspect of it. The new thing is the rubric for effective institutional outcomes. That is something that ACCJC is now using to try and get better narrative stories about how colleges are supporting student success. They provide a rubric as an aspect of more of a self-evaluation. So we go through that process, and the Accreditation Oversight Committee has made recommendations on that. The next area is our reflections of assessment student learning. Again, we're really focusing on our student learning outcomes. We're really about our disaggregation that we have and the impact of our learning outcomes on instruction and the impact of our learning outcomes on student success. It's a whole full reflection of our process and the areas of growth that we're continually looking for. And looking ahead, we're trying to make sure that we have topics that are related to standard 1, which is our institutional effectiveness, standard 2, which is student success and support, standard 3, which is our infrastructure, and standard 4, which is our governance and evaluation. So that's the main thing that that last portion is going to be looking at. Again, it's setting the stage for what the comprehensive is going to be, highlighting some aspects, but not all aspects that might be in the comprehensive report. In terms of our timeline for communication, we started this process off in May. We are providing our update currently in November. The Accreditation Oversight Committee had its first meeting this month, and they reviewed an initial working draft. The cabinet is also going to continue reviewing. The plan is so that the Planning Budget Council will have a review in January, and we'll have more public readings of the midterm report in the beginning of the next year. We have to have our midterm report submitted by March 15th, and we have this scheduled to be coming back to the board on March 10th. Thank you.
Thank you. Any public comment first, and then we'll go to board member comments.
Thank you, Mike Vanderpoort. Question, we still have the reports. There's supposed to be like 3 3-page reports and a 2-page report. When will we get to see those? If I looked at the deadlines, it looks like we should have seen them. When can we see them if they're supposed to be public review? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment here in the room or online, or any board members with any questions or comments on this presentation? Anything else to add, Dr. Smotherman? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. That takes us to item C8, the board nominating committee report. As a reminder, trustees Fishman, Bailey, and Battenfeld were named to the board nominating committee, and I'll turn this over to trustee Fishman to give their update and recommendations.
Hi, this is the slate that the ad hoc committee has come up with. We'll be voting on this in December. We've nominated trustee Shaban as chair, trustee Valdivinos as vice chair, and trustee Mariana Martinez as recorder. We like stability.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you and the members of the ad hoc committee putting the work in to come up with those recommendations. And again, that will come back to the board in December for a vote. That takes us through the information agenda and moves us on to the consent agenda. That's items D1 through D5, with approval being item D6. Do I have a motion and a second? I heard okay, motion and a second. Any public comment on the consent calendar? Seeing none. Student trustee Clark.
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? The ayes have it. The consent calendar is approved. Brings us to item E1, personnel actions. Do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
Any public comments in the room or online, or board members wishing to speak? Seeing none. Student trustee Clark.
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? All right, the ayes have it. Next is item E2, September 20th to October 17th, 2025 warrants. Do I have a motion and a second to approve this item? Any public comments online or in the room? Seeing none, or board members wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none. Student trustee Clark.
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? All right, that measure passes. E3, instructor load reports for summer and fall 2025. Do I have a motion and a second? Everyone's so enthusiastic this evening. I like it. So I think I heard a motion. Did I hear a second? All right. Any public comments on this item online or in the room, or board members wishing to speak on this? Seeing none. Student trustee Clark.
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? The ayes have it. Next item E4, instructionally related course fees effective spring 2026. Do I have a motion and a second? All right. Motion and a second. Any public comment on this item, or board members with comments? Seeing none. Student trustee Clark.
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? All right, that passes as well. That takes us to E5, quarterly financial report. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion. Second.
Any public comment in the room or online, or board members with a comment? Seeing none. Student trustee Clark.
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? All right, that measure passes. E6, student equity plan 2025 to 2028, review and approval. Do I have a motion and a second on this? All right, we do have a presentation on this item, so I will turn this over. Please go ahead. VP
Thank you so
Senegal.
much. So good evening, President Shaban, trustees, Dr. Garcia, SOJC community. My name is Dr. Molly Seneca. I'm the Vice President of Student Services, and it is my privilege to bring what I hope is the last presentation for tonight. So we're bringing the Student Equity Plan. The Student Equity Plan is required by the State Chancellor's Office and covers a 3-year period. So we do this every 3 years. So at this point in time, we are bringing for the 25-28 Student Equity Plan. The equity plan includes required metrics that every single college in California is required to look at. We are supposed to look at data in terms of what our disproportionately impacted student groups are, what we have done to address those groups, and what strategies we are going to bring forward for the next cycle. Here's a list of the metrics that we've included. I'm not going to go into details on all of these. This is the 3rd time that we have gone through this process and developed the Student Equity Plan. There are 3 new metrics, and those are the ones listed at the bottom. So the State Chancellor's Office is also asking us to look at a specific population through an intensive lens, to consider how are we helping all students get a comprehensive ed plan, because the research shows that students who have a comprehensive ed plan are more likely to stay incomplete, and to make sure all the work we're doing aligns with the Vision 2030 Equity Plan. This is the timeline that we have engaged in. I wanted to make sure that everyone had a chance to see that we started this work in last spring and engaged in a cross-constituent process to gather feedback. This plan is due to the State Chancellor's Office on November 30th, and it is before the board tonight for approval. With that, I'm going to pass it on over to Lee Collier, who is the Director of Student Equity Planning Work, who will talk about the process and do a high-level overview of what the plan includes.
Thank you, Molly, for providing this overview. So as Molly was mentioning earlier, the work group was formed following the participatory governance process, and it reflects a broad perspective of expertise from students, faculty, management, and staff. And we started working spring 2025, where we reviewed equity data, and we also looked at what we have done and what we have not done yet. And in the SEP 2.0, we have a student focus group that is focused student populations on first-gen students. And we continue to see that, as you can see from the next slide, is first-gen students still have many of the metrics, equity metrics are still showing that they are having disproportionate impact. So the work group decide to continue to focus on first-gen students as our focus group. So in light of the institution planning, we're really mindful as a work group, how do we align the student equity plan with other district plans, especially strategic plan, guided pathway plan, and others. So we can have all these coordinated, collaborated equity effort instead of working in silos. We also shared the plan with draft plan with the college community, and we have gone through a lot of groups and received a lot of feedback. So we'll be incorporating these feedbacks into the final plan as well. So the next few slides you will see are the equity metrics. And many of them you may have noticed that have the strategies proposed have repeated themes. And that's intentional because we consider several projects, several strategies can affect multiple equity measures. So I'm not going to be able to go through all of them. You have the material in front of you, but I want to highlight a few of them. So looking at the student education journey, we go from pre-enrollment to enrollment to course completion until they fit, and they persist, of course, until they finish their completion, their goals, either be certificates or degrees or transfer, right? So the successful enrollment is really the first step. We really take a critical look. We want to do that and look at the onboarding process in the first year programming. And the transfer level math and English is one of the top ones that has been a lot of people's mind, and we propose some strategies that definitely is going to align with strategic plan, AB 17.5, and so on. Persistence, on that part, we really focus on how we can build re-envision a support network that has a faculty, students, and programs that all work together. And completion degrees, as I mentioned, they have some repeated strategies as well here. But the important part here is really data-informed class schedulings and other assessments. Transfer to 4-year, we will focus on communication to students about available services and what we have and what students can do to start early on again. And one thing I want to mention, the comprehensive student education plan, the CEP, as Molly was saying, this is a new requirement for the equity plan and really highlights how we can get all the students in comprehensive education plan that maps out what their journey is going to be, right? That supports their completion goals. So moving forward is implementation, lots of collaboration still needed, and we also will focus on how we assess the progress. The annual report will be due in that time. So with that, any questions you have, or we can answer?
See any board members? Well, first, any public comment on this item here in the room or online? No, Trustee Battenfeld, please.
No, I just want to say thanks. This is a really thorough plan. And if we could do all this magically, I think it would be wonderful. But I know it's going to be a hard lift, but I really think it's great. And one thing is some of the things, again, look really institutional, and maybe, you know, as trustees, we're always asked, like at state meetings, you know, what should our priorities be, especially since there's not a whole lot of money right now. If there's like institutional changes at the state level that you can tell us to advocate for, like, I know they've tried to pass laws to make application things easier. And I mean, you don't have to respond now, but I'm just saying, you know, be interested in knowing. And also it's funny because I met a couple of students outside of the JC and out in the community, and they were students who are working and they're taking all their classes online. And they were saying, you know, kind of what you were saying about, we really want a lot of this done in our classes. Can we have our teachers help us with our plans and our careers and our connections in our classes? Because I mean, obviously they can do it online, but these students didn't seem to, anyway. I'm just giving you their feedback.
No, I appreciate that. So thank you so much. And I appreciate the work that each of you do as trustees when you're out in the community. You're sharing the work that you're doing. You're connecting us with resources in the community. So in terms of funding, so the student equity plan, we do receive allocation from the state chancellor's office for student equity advancement, so STEAM funding. So with that funding, it's a fixed funding, so don't get any more. So we get a fixed funding. We've been receiving this allocation since we first started submitting a student equity plan. So what our work is to evaluate what we are doing right now, what was approved in the 22-25 plan, because funding was allocated to those activities. And some of them are transferable and they relate to the work that we saw that we need to do now. And some of them need a shift. We need to like maybe have a different approach. And so that's what this work does. So there is money that we get from the state chancellor's office, but we need to make sure we look at the data metrics, that we adjust where we need to. And then also partnership and cross collaboration. So example of that would be with guided pathways, the work that we heard with CCAP. So different ways, so we're not operating in isolation, that we're doing this cross collaboration. Which brings me back to what Lee was showing about the crosswalk. And that was one of the things that the plan required us to do, is to see how we align with the Vision 2030. And so how are we aligned with our strategic plan, with guided pathways, with all this other work? So we're not just doing something and duplicating things in isolation, because we're stronger when we operate together as a whole. But again, if you find money out in the community or resources, you know, again, we're always open to additional support and resources, but we thank you for all the advocacy you do for us.
Thank you. Any other board members with questions or comments? So just real quick, I'd be interested to know, you know, so there was an ad hoc, you talked about cross collaboration and sort of some of the implementation work going ahead, but over the next 3 years, I'd just like to have a little bit of a better sense of where this lives in responsibility and engagement, and how intentional we are with you know, that collaboration and alignment and execution then on the plan.
No, I love that question. Thank you so much for asking that. So we recently went through our participatory governance revamp. And so we have the new governance structure. And as a part of that, what was formerly called ISSC. And so that group is revamped into the Student Equity Committee, which is a part of a charge, has a responsibility for looking at the disparate student experiences, providing recommendations on the student equity plan. It includes all constituency groups, including students, on that membership. And so that is the group where recommendations will come from, and they will be the body responsible for looking at this and providing recommendations, which come to me. So then I will work with the other VPs in other areas to make sure that we're doing what we need to be doing, or if we need to adjust, that we're going through the appropriate channels to do that.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. All right, seeing no other questions or comments, I do have a motion and a second, so I will go to Student Trustee Clark for our advisory vote.
Aye.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? All right, the ayes have it. E6 is approved. Next on to item E7, Resolution 19-25, changes to the adopted budget. Do I have a motion and a second? Any public comments here in the room or online, or board members with comments? Seeing none, this does require a roll call vote. Kehlani, please call the roll.
Student Trustee Clark.
Aye.
Trustee Bailey.
Aye.
Trustee Battenfeld.
Aye.
Trustee Bricker. Trustee Fishman. Trustee Martinez. Trustee Shaban.
Aye. All right, that measure is approved. Next item, E8, Resolution 20-25 for change order number 2 for Lunabus Hall Automotive Lift Replacement. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion. Second.
All right, any public comments or board members with comments on this one? Seeing none, this also requires a roll call vote. Caroline, please call the roll.
Student Trustee Clark.
Aye.
Trustee Bailey. Trustee Battenfeld.
Aye.
Trustee Bricker. Trustee Fishman. Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Shaban.
Aye. All right, with that, the desk is clear. No further items. I want to thank everyone for your participation and attendance today, everyone who spoke and gave up your valuable time on after the time change, what seems like midnight. I mean, it's a little nuts. And thanks to my board colleagues as well. This meeting is adjourned.